Hilda and I have been very adamant about being more political, whereas
women's rights are human rights, and I would like to show my political affiliation. Bon Jovi still rocks.
So it looks like I'm living on a hope and you're living on a prayer.
That's going to be on my next t-shirt.
It's going to be on my gravestone.
This is the good life. Oh, this is the good life.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Cameras. Hilda already did that awesome intro. Whether we showed it or not, I don't know. But what
We'll
really matters
find
is
out.
we're here to talk. Please excuse that I'm going to have a cell phone on me today, but we have notes.
You have notes.
But we have notes.
You have notes and I have the blah blah.
We're so organized and prepared.
No, we're not.
We have a lot to talk about today. So today's episode might be a little bit longer, but I think it's probably the most important topic we've ever talked about. And I think it's also going to change a lot of things moving forward. But before we get to it, how are you doing?
Well, it's been a year. I'm happy to be talking business again, and let's just leave it at that.
Fair enough. 2024 has been exceedingly rough, but I think you're taking the shotgun whole of it.
I win for 2020.
A little bit. Yeah. I think you won the elephant prize.
You were in the lead for a while, but then here comes November.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, and you have to laugh, otherwise you will end up crying.
Right.
So yeah.
So on that note, there's we want to thank you guys for being so patient with us. If this is your first episode, usually we're a little more on top of things,
A lot more professional. Today is not that day.
So today we're going to talk about something that is important to not only us, but also to everyone watching, because I think this is going to really shape how things are moving forward, but it's definitely going to shape how we move forward. And before we get into the landscape of everything we want to talk about, let's dive into social media. What is your favorite social media? I think I know it, but I think it might have changed.
I can count YouTube as social media, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so right now it's YouTube by far.
Okay, so when did that make a switch? Because I would have put money on the fact it would have been Instagram.
Yes, it was Instagram for the last couple years, but I think in 2024 YouTube officially took over for me.
How come?
Because Instagram wasn't interesting anymore. All I saw was ads and people I didn't know. That's not what I signed up for, so.
Do you think the change happened when like Facebook kind of took over in Instagram?
Yes.
Like I know, have they always been the same, or did Facebook buy Instagram?
Facebook bought Instagram, but that was like many years ago. But now they were still separate companies, even though they were both owned. So they still were doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. Once Zuckerberg incorporated Facebook and Instagram, like you can't post to one without posting to the other, that's when it went sideways for me. It was just so fucking boring that I had nothing to do with it anymore. Even though I have to be on there for my fucking job, which
Right.
pisses me off. So I do look. So not that I'm completely off of it, but it's like, I think the time I spend on there has probably gone down by 80% easy.
80%?
Yeah.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
that's a huge number.
And that percentage went to YouTube because it's more entertaining to me now. And it's like I feel like YouTube's algorithm actually gives me what I want to see.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, when they talk about algorithm, they'll almost always go with TikTok has the best algorithm. And after playing with it to try and figure it out, their algorithm is out of this
really?
world. It's so good. There are cases online, and it got brought up on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, where women were saying, hey, I had no idea I was a lesbian until TikTok told me I was.
I downloaded this app a year ago. I thought I was straight. After being on TikTok, I quickly realized I was not straight and that I was bisexual.
I always say that the algorithm knew that I was gay before I did, and I stand by that. It absolutely knew.
Are any other girls kind of aggravated that it took more than 20 years to figure out we were bisexual, but it took my TikTok algorithm 37 seconds? Would it save me so much fucking time?
And I thought that was
oh my
really
God,
cool.
That's so funny.
And their algorithm's really good. Mm-hmm. However, I've never been able to get it. I've never been able to see anything on TikTok that I care about. like I keep getting flooded with dancing and people talking at the camera for jokes and stuff,
Okay.
like trends.
Yeah.
And that immediately turns me off.
Okay,
So-
but do you go there? Like, do you click on something to go there? Like, usually when I end up on TikTok is because like another social media recommended it, and I click on it like from YouTube, Google, whatever, and I go there, and then it's like then it starts recommending stuff. So I don't just go there
Okay, maybe that's where I'm
unprimed,
wrong.
I guess,
Unprimed?
unprimed.
That's funny. Typically, if someone sends me a vertical video to begin with,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, I don't have to watch this. I have no interest in this
You're
whatsoever.
so snobby.
I am snobby. But I will check it out. And I've always been interested in the algorithm of TikTok
Okay.
because the fandom is rampant. But
The
I don't
fandom of TikTok or the fandom of people who understand TikTok algorithm?
I think the fandom of the people who are on TikTok,
Okay.
who use it and say TikTok rocks.
Okay, gotcha.
It's not for me.
Okay.
I don't like short form content. Typically, when I see short form content, I'm like, cool, that was interesting, but I need more. And if I just watched like that high energy short form back to back, I just lose all interest.
That's funny.
Like I need like if I'm looking for an explainer video on YouTube and I see one that's like 5 minutes, one that's 10, and one that's 15, I'll always go for the 15.
I'm completely the opposite. I go out of my way to. I was looking for some a tutorial for something with Photoshop, and I typed it in, and I narrowed it down to 2024. Then I narrowed it down to like less than 5 minutes because I'm like, I don't have time to watch a 15-minute video if a 5-minute video is going to explain the same thing.
Totally
you know?
get that.
And some of the new musicians that I've been playing while we're setting this up and whatever, I found a lot of them through the YouTube shorts. I just like at night I don't like I'm trying to watch something to like kind of brain off thing, but it's like I don't want to get involved so I just start watching shorts, and it's just like I swipe and I'm like, oh, this kid sounds cool, like, oh, this kid sounds cool, so then I go to their channel and subscribe, so that's perfect for me.
I think the ability of what shorts and TikTok and Reels, whatever, they're shorts, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I think what shorts really do is they open up a new world of things to people at a very quick ability.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they're valuable. It's just not for me.
Gotcha.
I would rather read the book than the jacket.
Understood.
Like when I watch a movie, I don't even like reading the synopsis. I just want to go in blind.
Gotcha.
But you brought up a really good point about Instagram, that it's changed. Like, what's changed about it?
It used to be that I went on Instagram and Facebook to catch up with the people that I knew or have met or care to follow. And I don't see any of those people. I get fed like ads and like recommended people. I'm like, why are you recommending people when it's like, just show me the people I fucking follow.
I follow people for a reason.
Exactly. It's like, I don't need recommended anything, or you might know. I'm like, I might know them, great, but how about the people I actually do fucking know? Like, show me them.
Okay, this is a great segue into this. Do you remember when like MySpace first started and Facebook first started? It was this bastion of hope. It was this great idea that we as a human race can still keep in touch with family and friends and people who are like might have been out of our lives for years, and we can see what they're up to.
Yeah, without like having to schedule phone calls or return phone calls. Yeah.
One of the annoying things about being younger was like, you had to call people to figure out what was going on, or wait till Christmas, and then you're bombarded with that shit nonstop, and it's like, I just want to go home. So what social media started off as was a beautiful neotopia of amazing, right? And what it's become is what it's always been designed to become, is a giant advertising farm.
Which I was so pissed when I found out that was the case, because when I first got on Facebook, I'm like, oh wow, I can see what everybody's doing. I literally called people on the phone and I said, get on Facebook now, because this will make it so much easier. I don't have to send you photos in an email, because that's when we're all having kids and we wanted to share pictures of our kids. And I'm like, I don't have to fill up so-and-so's email or whatever. It's like, this was dial-up. So that was like a big pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just put everything on Facebook and share with all my friends. This is perfect. And it was perfect for so many years. And I was so happy with it. And everybody was just like, I know what people are doing in Georgia and what they're doing in Michigan. Like, because I saw it over and over and over again. And then just slowly just started becoming like, oh, who are these people? what are these ads? What's going on? So that was,
So what I think we're seeing right now, and I've mentioned this in previous episodes, and I did a whole other podcast about this, is we are seeing the death of social media. We are seeing the graveyard of what we knew social media as. Now, I want to preface this whole conversation as I don't think social media is going away, and as professionals who work in the marketing world and help businesses like you work and create content for social media, I don't want to say stop doing this. I'm just saying that what we've known it as is dead. Here's the new landscape, and there's other steps moving forward.
it evolved into something that we didn't sign up for.
Right. Well, technically we did when we clicked the consent thing. Social media began, and still is, the greatest harvesting of information for who we are as people, as consumers. And they market toward us. Anyone out there who doesn't believe this, just go on Facebook and try and find more than 2 posts of people you know in a row without seeing an advertisement or someone's page or some fan page that you have no connection with.
Recommended pages.
Yeah. And it's eye-opening. It's very eye-opening. And I think what people are starting to realize is that, yes, we are being marketed to. Now, the point of marketing is, I might be shooting myself in the foot by saying this, but it's very much like the quote, the greatest trick the devil ever played was letting you know that he didn't exist. Right?
Convincing you that he didn't exist.
Convincing you. And that's what marketing is. It's not saying you need to buy this. It's convincing you, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, like you need this. Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And that's not bad. That's not inherently bad, because it does introduce things into my life that I would have never known about or knew that I needed.
Right.
Like better cleaners. But also I've learned that cleaners as themselves, they don't really differ from one to the other. Just one costs more because it's got a prettier label on it. So, and that's marketing.
Yep.
You know, there's a reason if you want to photocopy something, we call it a Xerox. There's a reason that if you want to blow your nose, you call it a Kleenex.
And bandages are Band-Aids, not bandages.
You told me that they're changing their marketing.
Well, they did this years ago, that they are calling it, and when you see an advertisement for Band-Aid, they say Band-Aid brand bandages, because Band-Aid is equal to anything you put on your skin when you have a cut
colloquial.
or whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
So they realized that their name became a common word instead of a name brand, which is that's like death to the brand.
Absolutely.
So if you you go to Walgreens and you see Band-Aid, you're like, oh, well, that's generic. Let's look at, Kodak's Band-Aids or whatever, so it's like it in the consumer's mind, it's like now it's like it dropped in the evaluation instead of it being a name brand. So
marketing is not inherently bad. Okay. And that's something I really need to emphasize with this, because it's going to sound like we're talking bad about marketing, and that's not it. It's just when you are flooded with this shit, it just feels so tiring and exhausting. I want to bring up a theory really quick. I thought about this years ago in art school. There were so many different genres of art, right?
Okay.
There's, look back at the Renaissance. There's the Renaissance, Baroque, Classicism, Neoclassicism, tons and tons and tons of different genres. And I call it genres because I'm so used to watching movies and music and shit. But you can see it in music as well. What I thought was, like, as soon as we really understand an art form and we can explain exactly what it is and we can classify it and we can name it and say, this is Baroque. It consists of these 15 stylistic elements. So therefore it is Baroque.
Like this is rock and roll, but then there's like all the different layers of the type of rock. So as soon as
you are able to classify something and understand what it is, the people who are making this, who aren't labeling themselves as Baroque, as rock and roll, they're doing other stuff. They've changed stuff. And then the masses have to go, well, how do we classify this new thing?
Okay.
And then you start working on this new thing. You start classifying. You start micromanaging it. And then you go, okay, now we have heavy metal.
Okay.
And heavy metal consists of these 15 things.
Yeah.
And now we can classify it. Now we understand what heavy metal is. And then all the heavy metal acts are going, well, we've been doing this other thing. And like, well, it's that other thing. Like, it just perpetuates, right?
Right.
It just keeps going. And then this other theory, that will be theory one. Theory number two is the pendulum effect. And the pendulum effect says things move in accordance to time. So think about movies, right? Remember back in the 90s when like emergency movies about the planet were like the biggest thing. You had volcano, you had floods, tornadoes, you had Armageddon. You had like all this massive amount of emergency type adventure action movies.
Yeah.
And then they just went away.
Yeah.
And then you started seeing something else. And then all of a sudden these movies came back and you look back in time, like that was the big thing in the 70s, and in the 50s you had these. So it's a pendulum effect. Things move back and forth.
Yeah.
So with social media, we can now understand what it is. It wasn't just a bastion of place where we could go to hang out. It was a place where they were harvesting information from us in order to market to us better and to sell to other agencies to market to us. And we're also seeing the pendulum of this being like, okay, we understand what this is. We can classify what social media is. Here are the 15 things that are social media. This is what makes social media. And that's why people always question like YouTube, because people use YouTube more as an educational thing rather than a place where you to go meet friends.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, when you're on YouTube, the people you watch, you kind of consider them friends.
Yeah. I do feel like I know some of my favorite channels, like the main person. Yeah.
And you want to hang out with them. And that's, that's kind of the mentality. So we're at the pendulum effect, and it's on the backswing now because we've understood what social media is for a while. The big thing is what's coming next. Right? And now we're on the backswing for something else. This is the emergency action movies coming into, holy crap, Kill Bill came out. Now we need action like kung fu shit.
Yeah.
It was either Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg years ago said, social media is dying. What's coming next is going to be bigger, right? It will take over what social media is.
Okay.
And they said, whoever can come up with what that is will be a billionaire overnight.
But we don't see it actively happening because we don't see it until it happens, right?
Oh, correct.
Okay.
Because we can't understand what it is until it's already in the zeitgeist, until it's already out there.
So messed up.
We had no idea what social media was until we already had MySpace, Facebook,
and then
yada,
somebody
yada.
decided to call it social media.
And now you have social media. And now you can start defining it until it's truly defined for what it is.
When social media first clicked for me, I loved posting, I loved commenting,
Oh, it was
I
fun.
loved I did it. I did it to promote my business, but I didn't do it to promote my business. It was just like I had fun sharing,
Right.
And it's like now I feel like I have to do it, and it's such a chore, and I really don't want to because I'm burnt the fuck out.
And that's what it is. Thank you. You said it so perfectly. Everyone's burnt out. Okay, there are people who still use social media just as a social platform, but they're seeing the repercussions of this as well. The deeper side of this is the businesses. Like up until, what was it, last year or the year before, the rule of thumb was 4 to 7 posts per day.
Okay, that's in fucking dreamland, but still, even once a day is like a struggle.
It is, but the rules were you had to or you'd never be seen.
Yes, that's so
and
sad.
You don't get to judge when your audience is online. And in order for them to see you, you had to push past what everyone else was doing.
Yep.
And that became exhausting. Like for small businesses like us who we have other hats to put on, and they can't all be social media.
Yeah.
They can't all be marketing.
Yeah. And I felt like we were doing more of anything for this business.
Yeah.
It was social media like 24/7. It was just so fucking
And that's why we
exhausting.
took a giant backseat to it, because it burnt us out. It was so much exhaustion. And literally our job became posting stuff.
Yeah. And I'm like,
And it didn't do anything.
No, this is a lot more fun. Let's be honest.
This is way better because I honestly believe people will be getting something out of this. And that's why we do this. Like first and foremost, I love doing these shows with you. I love Coffee and Cameras. I love the pitch session. I love being able to like come up and have conversations and talk with people. And that's why like when we get a chance to go talk to like a potential client, I'm like, let's go. I have so many ideas already. Doing this kind of stuff is our marketing. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, our goal is to hopefully work with people who are watching this,
Yep.
get them to work with us and be able to make cool stuff for them.
Yep.
But in the meantime, I'm really hoping this helps everybody else.
Yes.
As well.
I don't want to say it's a double-edged sword, but like I don't know any other way to say it. So yes, we do want our cake, and yes, we want to eat it too. And why
It's a
the
double-edged
fuck
fork,
not?
so you can have
There
the
you go.
shrimp
Yes.
and the taco at the same time.
Oh my God.
I know, I'm all
shrimp
about it.
tacos, yes.
I know.
So
That
you're,
is so
you're
my jam,
right.
by the way.
You're right. You know, absolutely. And I used to feel bad for thinking that way or even feeling that way. And I'm like, even at the, like forgetting businesses, like every relationship you have in life, whether it's like mother, child, you know, like siblings, married people, it's a transactional relationship. Like you
Perfect.
would not want to
Yeah.
be around your mom unless your mom made you feel happy or good, or you would not want to be with your wife unless your wife gave you something positive in return, like love you and take care
Yeah.
of you. You know, so it's like it's all that. So it's like even if you don't think about it, you know, at a core level, you know, it's like, you know, you wanted a baby because you want your genetics to go on. You know, it's like, oh, I want a little baby, but like at the core of it,
There's a give and take.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, why can't that just be like on the surface with businesses and everything else? Like,
Yeah.
let's just fucking talk about it. I'm
And-
sorry.
Social media is dying. It's dying in the fact that people are being exhausted by going on there and seeing nothing but ads. They're seeing what social media is becoming. And I said this years ago that social media will die, but not die as in like go away. It's going to be highly dichotomous, I think is the right word. Basically like highly like these people are going to go play over in this field. These people are going to go play over in that field. I mean, we're already seeing it with what used to be called Twitter, as that's become like a bastion for MAGA right wing. Okay. And the only people I know who are still on Twitter, like personally, are the people who are watching these fires go. You know, like they just enjoy being either entertained or informed.
Yeah.
And that's good, but like Twitter has become the right wing. Like it's synonymous
Yeah,
now. Like
like
you don't go to
Fox
Twitter
News.
for news anymore.
Yeah.
And it used to be like the greatest place for news.
Yeah.
Instagram has highly turned into look at me, look at me. It stopped being the photo sharing and more look how beautiful
Yeah.
my life is.
Yeah. And like how, you know, you should be envious, but buy this instead
Bingo.
to be more like me. Yeah.
Bingo. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And again, all these social medias have their place, but they're being more niched down.
Yes.
Okay. And that's what I mean by dying is that people are going to pull out. Like it's going to end what we thought it began
Yes.
as.
Yes.
Okay.
It does. The origins of it
Right.
are no longer there. Yes.
So with the death of social media comes the idea that what is going to come next. And the big thing that everyone was thinking was going to be the next big thing was Zuckerberg's Meta, where you can still have a communal aspect in a meta space. And what that meant was like an AI driven virtual realm space, which I honestly believe that was going to be the next thing
I
for
know,
a while.
but anybody with a set of eyeballs could actually see how dorky it looked, and like people had no legs, and it was just like awkward. Like, I'm sorry, like a first year college student can design something better than what the hell that was.
Now, what they're doing is they're trying to do this on a massive scale.
Okay.
Okay. I understand why the graphics were so bad
Okay.
because now you're trying to implement 1 billion people
Okay.
online at the same time.
Okay.
Rather than a video game that handles one person.
Gotcha. Okay, so that was
Okay?
the problem.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than that. I'm simplifying that. But I think they pushed it too fast And they missed the point of what made social media actually desirable. Fun.
Yeah.
They missed the enjoyment.
Yeah.
And they focused more on the marketability. They focused more on the end design of what turned people off of what people loved.
Yeah.
So I don't think Meta is going to be what is promised yet. I think we do have a future somewhere down the line of the Ready Player One, where people will live inside of a matrix type of virtual environment. I think it will happen. But right now, I highly don't. What did you think? Because the big question was like, what was going to come next? But we're so far in the backswing.
And I honestly, I'm just trying to keep up with what is coming at me day to day. And all
shit.
I know is just that, like Facebook became toxic, and it just,
Yeah.
I just didn't even want to be on there anymore. And it's like I started hiding people, and I'm like, I'm spending more time hiding people that I don't want to hear
Right?
from than so I stopped being on there as well. So I just jump on there every once in a while to see how people are doing, but I'm not interested in that anymore either. So
I'll tell you this. Last year I got hacked.
what happened?
My Facebook account got hacked.
Yeah. Okay, tell the people who don't know.
It was like 2 a.m. My phone was blowing up. It was just like buzz, buzz, buzz. And I was, okay, check it out. I was like, maybe a family member died, something horrible.
Yeah.
And it says, someone's trying to log into your Facebook account. Do you authorize this? And I was like, fuck no. So I got up, I ran to my computer and literally I got into my account while they were still in it making changes. Like I saw the changes happening in real time.
Oh my God.
And then they locked me out. And then they went into our business account and locked us out of that, which was a hell of a turmoil, why if you go to that Facebook account right now, it is not real. You did make a real one, right?
Yeah, we made a real one. The other one is not under our control, but
yeah, it has paint supplies from Thailand.
Whatever.
Anyway, so I got hacked. It was really shitty. And for like the first, I would say 2 weeks, it was brutal trying to get back in. By the way, if you get kicked out of Facebook, you're not getting back in. There is no help service for the company. They were massively not helpful. And then I walked through like all these like tutorials about like, you can do this, you can do this. None of them worked.
So you finally had to create a new account.
So I had to create a new account just to be able to connect with other people. And I even I put a picture on there that was not me because I don't want to be affiliated right now. I was so pissed off. I was like, this is not my real name. This is not who I'm affiliated with, but people who I need to be in touch with, this is the easiest way to do it. And I'll admit Messenger is one of the best messaging services. I wish they would update their, if you click on a link in Messenger, I wish it would take you to the app.
Yes.
Or a browser instead of still inside Messenger. I hate that.
I hate it.
I hate that so much. For like 6 months, I was off of Facebook, and it was like the best thing ever. I didn't feel like I had to keep up with the Joneses. I didn't feel like I had to what's this person doing now? What's this person doing now? I didn't have to constantly post to make sure that I was alive. And I think then is when I realized what doom scrolling was. And I was like, oh my God, this is actually great. This is wonderful. And then I got back on Facebook somehow. now I'm back on it.
Then you finally managed to get your old
finally got
account
my
back
old
too.
account
So you
back.
have both accounts now.
Yeah, that was a tumultuous thing. I have no idea what I did. I just remember doing it a long, long time. But yeah, that time period, I just felt so good.
Yeah.
And that was during the same time period where you and I had talked about how we were pushing content every day. And we were like, maybe let's take a breather.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you yelled at me in the best way possible to wake up and actually focus on what's most important would be our clients and not just posting for the algorithm.
Yep.
So yeah, oh my God, it felt great. And so I started doing research on this and people are saying yeah, I mean, if you take social media off of your phone and just deal with it on a computer at home when you have to physically be present with it, really kind of opens your eyes to life more and takes you out of that like necessity that I have to post, that I have to do this now, that I have to, like it really kind of recenters you. So I did. And then I installed them back all because that's my business. And I have to be on social for business, like for other people's businesses.
Yes, exactly.
Not just Eo7.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say that week,
it was eye-opening.
A little stressful.
Yeah.
Because now I was like, oh, I got to get home. I got to go to my computer and do this. But it was like, yeah, okay, I could do this.
Once we had the conversation that we're just like, we'll post when we want or when we feel like it. It's just like, it's been so nice. It's like, I'm actually like thinking about like, okay, this would be fun, but it's like, it doesn't have to be a thing because it was always such a thing.
That's good for us. And I think it's better for our mental well-being.
Yeah.
But I think in order, if we wanted to grow and get bigger and like get a ton of clients and like, get like 4 jobs a day kind of thing, we would have to post
100%.
And fast.
I mean, if anybody has the bandwidth to do that and it works for them, by all means, please keep going and Godspeed. But
it's actually like if you were to sit down with us and pay us for advice, we would tell you to be posting.
Yeah, keep posting. Yeah,
like
still
that
keep posting.
is what is going to make
we just don't have the energy. Right?
Right.
We're too fucking old.
Well, what you and I decided was it came down to would I rather spend 3 or 4 hours doing the social media stuff or spend that really with our clientele.
Yes.
And we put all that time back into our clients and we started making better stuff. We started focusing more on their happiness, about their growth. And that really kind of changed my mindset.
Or for us, it's like, what makes us happy, what we're doing makes us happy. That's just as important.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do want to emphasize that helping other people really makes me happy.
Yes. Yes,
like
it does.
there's a reason I do this podcast. I love doing this. I love talking too. So, but I think people can get burnt out on social media really easily.
Yeah.
Now let's get into like the meat of this conversation. Is there anything else you want to bring up before I go down
I think I'm good.
the next rabbit hole?
Let's go.
All right. Social media is dead from what we thought it was going to be.
Yes.
Okay. The political climate we're going into is an authoritative oligarchy. Okay. And what that means, and I'm sorry for mansplaining this, I really am, but really like basically what that means is there's going to be one person making choices, but also it's the rich who control all the political decisions, mostly for the benefit of the rich and at the high detriment of the not rich. There's a bunch of other things in this. I don't want to go too far down that education hole because I'm not educated enough.
Okay.
I would love to have someone on here who knows their shit.
Okay.
I would love to have my mom on here. Like you want a divisive, like ball of fucking fire. I want my mom. I've been trying to get her on a podcast for years.
Patty, come on the podcast, Patty.
I'm actually gonna bring her up in a second because literally right before we hit record on the cameras, she sent something. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great for the show. But in our political landscape, if you remember from 4 years ago, do you remember the absolute exhaustion of waking up every day and hearing the news and just being torn down every day?
Yep.
Okay. If the shirt didn't say it, I'm a giant proponent of human rights, giant proponent of LGBTQI+, giant proponent of people. Okay. I am all for people's rights.
Yes.
When 4 years ago, all we heard was negation, not only of negative things in general, but negating people's rights.
Yes.
It was exhausting. Yes. And then when Roe v. Wade happened, the cancellation of Roe v. Wade, oh my God, it was off the hinges.
I never thought I would ever see the day where that would be it. No, never.
I don't think any person in their right mind would. And it was devastating. And it still fucking is. It still is devastating. Yes. And we're going to see far worse. Okay. But this is not a political podcast. This is a podcast about marketing and businesses. So I want to take this and switch that over to that side.
Let's hear it.
We are going to be exhausted from social media shit. We're going to be exhausted from news stuff. And Hilda, I know I'm talking way too much and I feel like a dickhead
that's okay
for this.
because I told you that I will support you in this episode, but you are the main speaker for both of us because I refuse to get into any of this. I know how I feel, but you have the right to say how you feel.
I think moving forward, I'm going to censor myself to a degree, but I'm not going to hold back what I truly believe. Okay. I am not a Democrat, but I wholeheartedly backed the Democrat side on the last political election.
Yeah, agreed.
I was
100.
devastated November 6th.
Same.
Absolutely straight up devastated.
Same.
I went into a depression. I went into anger fits. Something clicked in my head. I messaged you right afterwards and I said, look, this is what we got to do. And that's what we're going to get into next. And it made me excited and happy and hopeful for the first time. What this comes into is we're tired of social media. We're tired of the news, which is going to be exhausting. We are tired of being told all the time what to see, what to look at, what to believe even. I think by having this oligarchy in place, to me, the best way to fight this is to educate when I can, but also put my money where my mouth is.
Okay, how are you going to do that?
I don't believe in funding the upcoming political regime in any facet.
Gotcha.
So I'm stepping off of Amazon. Now, I'm not saying those companies are backing those regime, but I will say they are the giant companies like Walmart. I'm not going to Walmart anymore.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
not
making more conscious consumer decisions.
That's a beautiful way. Can explain what that is?
For example, it's like I know that as much as I want to get away from Amazon, it's like it's too big and too easy for me to.
It is, and
just
it's very hard.
Cut and go.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing is that when I do my searches, I narrow it down. I click small business and I click environmentally conscious or something like that, or like least like no chemical additives or whatever. So whatever is important to me, I click all those boxes. And yes, I might not get the cheapest price, but I know that I'm making a difference, at least in a small business's, profit or life or whatever. So I feel better about making those conscious choices when I can't, because ideally I should just, get in my car and like go to the local stores and, buy all the things, but it's going to take me 3 to 5 times that much, much time and effort, so it's like time is money, so it's like, so I try to make those conscious decisions, I don't order my food from Amazon. I actually go to like a local little, place where it's like they have all the fresh foods and whatever. So I know that I am legit supporting a local produce market, fresh foods and everything. Right. So I feel good about that. So I'm not going to feel guilty about, maybe ordering printer paper or whatever from Amazon because it's going to be here by 4 a.m. the next day and I need to print my shit out before I go somewhere. So, it's all about compromise.
It's a compromise.
Yeah.
And I would love to say that I'm never going to use Amazon.
Yeah.
But when you told me about the climate options with the
small businesses
and people of color or women owned, I'm so all for that because let's be honest, in the current product driven marketing landscape, Amazon owns the playground.
Yeah.
Like you can't go sliding without selling through Amazon. And a lot of small businesses are on Amazon because they offer that platform.
Yeah, they have to be to survive.
They have to be.
Yeah.
So I am going to make a giant conscious effort into that. But I also really want to focus on going back to a more communal, local, and indie type of business, like supporting them. Okay. And guys out there, if you're listening to this, please let me know if you know in the Chicago suburbs, any kind of business. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, small business.
I want to know. Blow up the comment section with people's businesses, with their websites, with their locations. I want to know options.
Yeah.
Because truth be told, it's kind of hard to research this all the time.
And I remember you got all excited because Elgin got a new coffee shop, you know, so
Yeah.
like, you're like, let's go there, get some coffee before we go somewhere else, you know. So instead of Starbucks, we actually made it a point to go to a local
Yeah.
coffee shop. So,
And
that was
I'll
nice.
be the first to say I love Starbucks, man. I love
Yeah.
sugar-filled garbage drinks, and they're delicious. But I
You
will
can get
always,
the same sugar-filled garbage drinks at mom and pop stores too.
I
so-
know, and I always want to go to a mom and pop store. Like before I go to
Yeah.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
The issue with Starbucks is it's convenience in my head.
Yep.
That's all it is. Okay. Which I got to get out of. I got to start making like, maybe I don't need to spend 30 minutes playing around on my computer before I leave for a meeting. Maybe I need to just go early, go grab a coffee from a real place and enjoy my time a little bit.
Yep.
Which brings me to my next question. Or my next question. Which brings me to my next diatribe, Hilda, because
Oh my
that's
God,
what we're
here we
doing.
go.
So with the idea that we are learning what things are, and once we learn something, what it is and can define it, it no longer is the thing. Something else has come along, right?
Right.
We are on the pendulum, which means we are swinging back from social media. And we are seeing the oligarchy in charge of how we spend our money.
Right.
Right? I personally want to focus on putting my money where my mouth is, like I said, and shopping at local places,
Yeah.
like you mentioned. Like I love Woodman's, man.
Yeah.
The grocery store. Oh,
I know.
I
You
love
talk
them.
about it like they give you the food for free, you know.
They're amazing. The selection, the choice, the people, the accommodations. It's an amazing store. And it's not Walmart. Here's where I really want to get in on this. And something I've been trying to like put like breadcrumbs through this whole episode, trying to put this all together. So with all that, plus the idea of wanting to help other businesses, I want to get together at a local business, like
Yep.
at that coffee shop
Yep.
in downtown Elgin, and meet other business owners. And you know what the networking groups are.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Like we've been to a few.
Yes.
And-
And I'm not a fan.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That-
fought it every step of the way.
You said exactly what I was hoping you would say. So walk me through that. Like you go to a networking group.
Usually,
why don't you like it?
because if either you have to pay or like, you know, it depends on what it is. But like you show up, you introduce yourself, everybody goes around, introduces themselves. We pass around some business cards. We're all supposed to stay like another 20, 30 minutes after so we can make some real face-to-face connections, but nobody does.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
basically we went in for a sales pitch and a business card and we wasted 2 fucking hours.
Yeah.
And I never want to go back again. And that pisses me off. So I like your idea a lot better that we like get together at a coffee shop
Yeah.
and we just say, hey, we're going to be at coffee shop X on day Y at time Z. Come and join us and hang out. And we're just going to be like sitting around and chit chatting, you know, talking about either how terrible or good the coffee is or how far you had to drive to get here or the price of gas or whatever's on your mind, but like with no agenda to sell anything or promote yourself. Just
Right.
like be with other like-minded individuals.
So the reason I want to do this, and that's what the core is. Like one, I want to offer a place, not a location, but a communal aspect of just meeting people face to face. I want to get to know people. I don't want to know you from your social media. I don't want to know you for who you put your face out as, where you come dressed up as like, well, I represent blah, blah, blah. No, I want to know who you are.
Yeah.
I want to know what you do on the weekends when you're home and
Yeah.
you're not judged by everyone
Yeah.
else. Because I'm always willing to recommend someone I like and who takes care of their customers over someone who's just good at what they do.
Yeah, agreed.
I want to know people. And being an introvert that I am, this is kind of weird, but I'm also kind of a social butterfly once I get in that position, just like you
Yeah,
are.
yeah. You like to make connections with people. So even if you don't know this person super well, but you know them well enough where you could recommend them to this other person, and that just like gives you so much
That's
joy.
what it
Yeah.
comes down to is like, at the end of the day, I want to meet other business people. I want to meet other business owners. I want to meet entrepreneurs. I want to meet independent, whatever. I want to meet people. And when you get that kind of like-mindedness together, of course we're going to talk about business because that's what we love to do. Hilda, how many times have I just started opening my mouth about marketing or branding and people go,
90% of the time you're awake easily.
Easily. But if I can do that to help someone, oh my God, that's so much fun.
Yeah.
But really, that's just what I like to do. So if we talk about business, that's great. But I want it to be a communal thing. I don't want it to be like a business meeting.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever worked in a corporate environment? I don't know.
No.
No? Because you were a paramedic.
Yeah.
And then you went right into photography.
Yeah, that's it. No corporate. I mean, I've shot corporate environments, but not worked at.
So I've worked in corporate America. It is droll. Some people, if that's what you love, I find that amazing that you found that.
Okay.
I really do. And I think
what's your point
some
about
people
it?
really thrive. My wife thrives on that environment.
Yes.
Me, why do we need a meeting, a 2-hour meeting every day when that shit could have been handled by a text or an email? Something like, this isn't important. This is you keeping your job as middle management bullshit.
Yes.
So that's the mentality that I don't want to do. I don't want meetings where you sit down and hear 20 people say shit like, well, this is what we do. This is what we offer. Here's my background. I don't give a shit.
Yep.
Who are you? What do you do? And let's just talk. Because I'm going to tell you about the movie I watched last night.
Yeah.
Because that's going to tell me more. That's going to tell you more about me than really anything else. But I want a place where you can go to be comfortable. And that's what we did with Facebook. We created the Be Better Network, and we invited any one of our clients is allowed to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And it's a no judgment, no negativity, pure positivity place where, like, if someone has an idea or a concept or they hear something,
that's where we share it.
We just share it
and
on
is
there.
that what you want this to be, but in person?
I want that.
Okay.
Like in person.
Okay.
And I think we can grow the Be Better Network by offering that to people who come to these things.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
And just have a place that really fosters the idea that the tide rises together and vibe attracts
and we're happy
tribe.
to, answer any questions. There's no dumb questions.
And I'm going to be answering questions left and right.
Absolutely. And I'm going to be asking a lot of questions.
Wait, did I say answer or asking?
You said answer.
That's not what I meant. I'm going to be asking.
But you'll also
questions.
be answering. Let's be honest. You're a smart cookie. Don't poo poo boo boo the no.
But I want to know about people. I want to know about jobs.
Yeah.
And dude, there's nothing more fascinating than hearing someone talk about something they're passionate about.
Oh, 100%. I love that.
I'm not into wine, but hearing like people who know wine talk about wine, I am enthralled.
Yeah. Like I just watched the documentary about people making mosaic tiles in Morocco from scratch.
Oh,
because it's like a lost art, but like they're trying to keep it alive. And like it was one of those like YouTube starts playing stuff after you're done watching it. I didn't even click on it, just like played it. And I was riveted at that, watching these people like finding the right color and the right texture and the right paint and the way I was like, these people are fucking magicians, and I sat through a 55-minute show that I didn't even want to watch in the first place because they were passionate about what they were doing.
And I think anyone who starts a business kind of has that passion. I've said it before. No one starts a business. Very few people start a business going, I want money.
Yeah.
They start a business because they see a need in the market and they see how you can better someone's life with
100%. Yeah.
And that's what I want to do. So at the end of this video, or if you listen to the podcast, I'll put it in the show notes. I'm going to put a date.
Okay.
And a location.
Cool.
And our plan right now that you and I talked about is to do this once a month.
Yes.
And just because, people have lives.
Absolutely.
People have businesses.
Yeah. And some locations might be more convenient to them, so we'll move it around a little bit.
So that's the other thing is we're going to move it around. We're going to start in Elgin because I'm super selfish and I don't want to drive far.
And we're going to end up in the northwest side of Chicago because all the route all the way there is how I get here. So.
And let's do the next one maybe in Park Ridge or somewhere around there. But the other thing is I don't want to find places to give us free stuff.
No.
I think that's a lot of
we
the shit.
We just need space, like for like a dozen people, maybe.
And the only thing I'm going to ask you for like money for people is to buy something at that business.
Yes. And I would assume if we're sitting there for 2 or 3 hours
Right.
chatting, it would be the polite thing to do. Absolutely.
So if we're going to a coffee shop, try a coffee, try one of their desserts, try something like that.
And we're going to try to pick a time where it's not busy. It's not going to be like,
Bingo.
after 5 o'clock
Oh,
or
no,
it's
no,
a
no, no.
Saturday morning or whatever. So
Weekends are out because focusing on family life is really important.
Yeah. And most self-employed people, they
Bingo.
can be flexible.
So we'll find a day during the week that we think is advantageous and early enough in the day that you can still go to work and get shit done.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's not going to be mandatory that you stay the whole time.
Of course not.
If you show up, nod at a couple people, rock out, cool.
If you just want to grab a cup of coffee and say hi, then that's great.
If you just want to pass out your business cards, that's cool too.
Yep.
But if you hang out and talk and get to know each other,
bonus.
So I want to get away from social media as a necessity and actually kind of think about it the way we used to have it.
Yeah. Like, hey, it's fun. Let me check it out. Yeah.
I want to get back. And that's why we're doing these podcasts more than anything else. We're doing these shows because we honestly enjoy doing this, but we also enjoy helping other people at the same time. Why don't we do that in person?
Let's do it.
I'm excited. I'm literally excited about this.
I am too. And we're definitely going to follow through with this. It's not just lip service.
No.
Even if we agreed, if it's just the two of us sitting at whatever predetermined place, we're still going to, rock it out and get some work done and sample some stuff from wherever we are. And we're going to have a good time.
And the good news about us being a duo is if one of us can't make it because of either family or work, the other one can.
100%.
Okay. So we will make this work.
Yes.
I think this is too good of an idea to honestly connect with other human beings and hopefully help someone along the way.
100%.
That is my belief of social media dying and the positive of what's going to come out of this. My belief is this isn't the absolute next thing, but this is going to be my phoenix in the burnt ashes of what I see as the political landscape and the negativity that we're seeing left and right.
Nice.
Maybe be the change that you want to see in the world.
And you're going to rise from the ashes, because that's the phoenix. So, okay, I'm going to shut up.
Like Harry Potter.
The phoenix, I was trying to say.
Harry Potter.
Okay, are we done?
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you like, and subscribe.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Everyone, thank you so much for spending your time with us. We know your time is valuable. And to close out today's episode, I wanted to share something with you that's a little personal and super on topic at the same time. Literally, right before we started rolling and I hit record, before I hit record, my mom sent me something to my text, and I wanted to share this with you just because the timing was too perfect. My mom sent me, and I'll show you a screenshot here. I used to spend hours looking up local businesses and big business contributions. I swear I can read. This is super easy to find businesses that I will support and those I won't. Depending on your political spectrum, I think we've made our side clear, and I'm definitely going to make my side much clearer moving forward. She says to check out the app Goods Unite Us. And then here is an image. And what it says here is what companies are donating to which political campaigns and how much they are doing it in percentage, which is really cool because this is something that I really believe in. And I even started making a list of these companies that I'm no longer going to fund because I don't want my money going to an organization that's going to feed the financial side of a political landscape that I wholeheartedly do not believe in. So this is a really cool app. She said you can check it out on Google Play. It's called Goods Unite Us. I think this is super fun timing. Oh, that's a bummer. This is a really cool app. It really shows a lot of good information and it's super easy to use. I just learned my bank does not support my interests or people in general. Looks like it's time to find a new bank. Any people out there who work at a bank?